minutes, please. 2 more minutes, please. So we'll just wing it while Marvin gets his stuff together, as we're all trying to do. You let me... you let me know, Marvin, when we're ready to roll. In the meantime, I'll just look at everybody in an uncomfortable silence. Where's that? Okay, thank you.
All in our underwear, right?
There we go. Yeah, everybody in their underwear, not an image I wanted. Okay. Somebody, when I started my speaking career, somebody said, if you want to get past the nerves, picture everybody in their underwear. If I would have done that, I would not have gotten into the speaking profession. No, nothing personal. Nobody wants to see me like that. Okay, let's move forward. Welcome to the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Scott. I'll be your host for the next couple of minutes, make some announcements, and let you know what is going on, and then introduce who's ever going to be talking today, as you will find out. But as we get started, first of all, welcome to the Zoomers. Nice to have you here from all over the world, and nice to have everybody in this room. The Eureka Center for Spiritual Living acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the ancestral territory of the Wiyot peoples. This territory extends to the communities through most of Humboldt County, and we honor the Wiyot peoples today, as we do every day, and all peoples. Okay, let us move forward. Every week it's exciting to see if the little clicker will work. This is my work. Look at that. Look, we got working happening. Okay. So together what we will do, especially if you're new here and you don't know what's going on, don't worry, those of us who have been here for a while don't know what's going on. You'll fit right in. We'd like you to read the top half of what is on the screen together in unison, and then the bottom half you'll turn to somebody else, and with sincerity you will say the bottom line. So together we say, we are a welcoming community where the vibration of love lifts us, the wisdom of the ages inspires us, and the science of mind teaching empowers us. And then turn to somebody and say, I honor the path that brought you here this morning. Lots of honoring going on. On the screen now, you can see what is coming up for the next week, or what is not coming up for the next week. You can miss what was coming up last week and what will be coming up next week. Several members, I believe, of our center are going to Asilomar this week, so that has put a hold on some of the classes. I also wanted to remind everybody, speaking of several members of our center, there is a list on the table that Burl has put together, which is our member checklist. If you are a member of the center, look at that impromptu display. If you are a member of the center, please check with the pens. How proud we are of what we do. Check the pens and check off your name. That's all you really have to do. If there's something wrong with it, then make a correction on it, please. Okay, pancake breakfast will be next Saturday, 6 days from now. We regularly help host the Redwood Pride Pancake Breakfast. $20 suggested donation or whatever you can pay to support the LGBTQ plus community. We are indeed allies of them. Yes, please. That is here. Technically, it'll be in the other room, but yes, it is in the building. Are you new here? Inside joke, inside joke. Okay, what do we have next? All right, last week, I talked a little bit about Pintaro. There's a story about a bunch of blind men looking at an elephant and trying to describe it. And I tried to describe Pintaro, not having yet seen the play in which I'm appearing. Now, that might sound a little odd, but this play is a collection of 8 one-act plays all put together. And the way the director, who is just marvelous, the way the director has put this together is we rehearsed individually. So none of us got to see what the others were doing. So I assumed, and we all know what that means, that most of the pieces would be like one of the pieces I'm in, which is a very powerful, heavy drama. No. So I've written a press release for the North Coast Repertory Theater. I work there, and I will read to you just real briefly the press release so you'll get a feel of what Pintaro is about. Imagine walking through a New York City neighborhood in the 80s. As you wander the bustling streets and avenues enveloped in its sounds and sights, open windows provide a glimpse into the lives of those who make up its pulse. Behind each door and through each window, a slice of life takes place, bringing you into it. As in any city at any time, there is sadness, happiness, humor, anger, joy, and in many cases, an essence of optimism. This specially curated collection of short, sharp, one-act plays written by award-winning playwright Joseph Pintaro spotlights a wide and expansive cast of characters, transporting you into a world where you might not associate with or even like some of the people you'll meet, but you will wish well for them and leave with an appreciation of who they are and a better understanding of our common shared humanity. Having now got to see all the pieces put together, it is, and granted I'm biased, but nonetheless, it is an amazingly powerful piece of slices of life. If you can make it, we are having Eureka Center for Spiritual Living night on Friday night, August 18th. I have sign-up sheets over there. I have modified the sign-up sheet to have more information because there is also a group of people who will be going out to dinner before the play. Thank you, James. It's like show and tell, isn't it? So if you would like to attend and we get at least 10 people, and I'm pretty sure we will, then there'll be a $2 discount off the price on top of that. But it will be worth your while. You will walk out of there definitely feeling something. That one of the pieces is laugh out loud hysterical. Think of Portlandia and translate that into New York in the mid-'80s, and you will really enjoy this play. So one more chance to promote it next week. Thank you for letting me do that. I'm really honored to be in this play. The director is Tony nominated, and this is just a really powerful piece. I'm honored that Humboldt County can bring something of this quality to this area. Okay. That out of the way, let's move forward. Bridge House Backpacks. Excuse me while I shake all over the screen. Bridge House, there we go. No, we're not going. There we go. Bridge House Backpacks. Bev, did you have anything you needed to say? Bev, are you here?
She's not here.
Okay, in absentia, Bev is saying do this. So she'd be more eloquent about it, but we do need, we're hoping to collect some backpacks for the Bridge House. That's what BH stands for, of course.
What we're looking for is donations. Since there's only 3 children this year, she's buying the stuff.
Okay.
We're looking for donations, financial donations toward that.
Yes, Shelley.
Or cash.
I've been around
Excuse me?
and I don't know what Bridge House is.
Bridge House, I can't define it well enough. It is a house, oh, okay, that's something. It's like a transition house, I believe, from people who have been, can you, Les, will you come up and describe it, please?
Bridge House is a residence for people moving from conditions of chaos, whether it's homelessness, addiction, combination of the above, into mainstream life, and they have children. These are families with children, and they live there, they have classes there, and Bev collects for Christmas presents for these kids and for the backpacks. Any donations in excess of what she spends on the backpacks will go for the Christmas presents.
The Thanksgiving dinner.
And the Thanksgiving dinner, yeah.
Thank you, Leslie. Does that answer?
More or less, yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. Media people. We need media people. We have been working, I've been working to expand the Facebook page. My wife, Marianne, sitting in the back, has been working on expanding the Instagram page, which needed expansion because there wasn't one. We now have 37 38 followers, which is really nice. And if you're on Instagram, go to Eureka Center for Spiritual Living. See the post that Marianne is putting up. Please like it, follow it. If you're on Facebook, please go to our Facebook page. Go to both. And we are opening up the Facebook page to get more variety of voice. So if you would like to post positive, inspirational images, if you would like to post your experience, your knowledge of our philosophy, if you would like to write pieces that are inspirational or talk about the philosophy, please get in touch with me so we can get more people posting on the Facebook page. We're looking at having a section for what our members are doing in the community. So if our members are performing, we want to help give a little bit of publicity for that. And we want to attract more people. This is an amazingly creative, supportive, loving community. Let's let the pages share that. So if you want to be of help, please do. You got my invitation, I hope? Good, okay. So I guess that sums it up for the media people. We do also need other media folks helping to put list items on eBay, on Craigslist, wherever else we can be. We want to reach out as far as we can. Okay, our bookstore. Okay, there we are. The
I
date.
gave you a page that says sign up for Instagram and Facebook.
Wonderful. Okay, there's that, which I just said. Okay. Our bookstore, we've got some great ones, as opposed to all the usual garbage that we usually carry. Sorry, it comes out before the brain engages. So check out our bookstore in the other room. We do have quite a collection. The little pantry needs to be fed. While we were standing outside or getting ready for the service, there were 2 people I saw coming by to take advantage of it. It's one more way we help the community. And moving finally, as we start the more traditional part of the service, our theme for this month, My Passion, My Purpose. I like the, what is that called, Roomba? No, that's the vacuum cleaner, isn't it? What's it called? Rumba. Rumba? Is that the kind of dance? Salsa. Okay, it's a salsa type dance. So every time this month when that slide comes up, everybody has to do one of these. Okay, you don't really have to do that, but we wanted to talk about my passion, or my passion and my purpose. Angelica will lead us now in a chant, and then I will return with a contemplative meditation, which I know I brought here somewhere. I will go find it.
There we go. All right, we're going back to this one. Again, we're trying to make our center even more, I don't know what the word would be, but I'm inviting anybody that likes to do chants to do, we'll do the same one all month, so we'll need somebody for next month. If you'd like to bring one in and lead it, that'd be great. But we're going back to the one that we did last month because nobody stepped up for this month. So, take a breath. Breathe into the heart of me, ah. Breathe into the heart of me, ah. Spirit inside me, I call on you to guide me. Breathe into the heart of me, ah. Breathe into the strength of me, ah. Breathe into the strength of me, ah. Spirit inside me, I call on you to guide me. Breathe into the strength of me, ah. Breathe into the faith of me, ah. Breathe into the faith of me, ah. Spirit inside me, I call on you to guide me. Breathe into the faith of me, ah. Now Scott is doing our contemplative.
I know many of us are retired. Some of us yet are not. So this book, despite its title, still applies wonderfully. I took this with some minor rewriting from Alan Lurie. That's Lurie. 5 Minutes on Mondays, Finding Unexpected Purpose, Peace, and Fulfillment at Work. He who hesitates is lost. These words were written by Alexander Pope, the great 18th century English poet. What can we do when the inevitable, usually subconscious negative thoughts arise? How can we, as Pope recommends, put aside self-doubt, especially when it seems to rise automatically? Winston Churchill, on the brink of disaster, said these inspiring words to a country at war. Don't be content with things as they are. The earth is yours and the fullness thereof. Enter upon your inheritance. Accept your responsibilities. Don't take no for an answer. Never submit to failure. Do not be fobbed off with mere personal success or acceptance. You will make all kinds of mistakes. But as long as you are generous and true, and also fierce, you cannot hurt the world or even seriously distress her. He told the struggling people of England to challenge the status quo, to see the world as full of opportunities, to keep trying even when others may tell you to quit, to never indulge the self-doubt that comes from the difficulties along the way, and most of all, to approach life with generosity, truth, and passion. The world can handle our confidence. Here's what I know. Here's what I am so grateful for. There is only one form of energy. It is interconnected among the entire universe and far beyond anything we can imagine. It is without error. It is without mistake. It is what makes up everything we see, that which we cannot see, and that which is yet to be created. It is all one. Because each of us, because I am part of that, I speak in the first person for all of us, because I am of that, made of that, I know that I too am guided, am divinely guided. I make no mistakes. I move forward to the best of my ability, knowing that whatever I do is guided by this divine force. And because of that, I walk with passion and confidence along my life's path, knowing that I am approaching where I need to approach, moving forward in a fashion that is exactly me and exactly what I need to do. And as I realize that and let it embrace me and surround me and fill me, I feel nothing but gratitude and joy and excitement over this wonderful life I live now and long into the future. I release these words into the law of mind, knowing they were already happening, and all I had to do was open up and accept them to see them in this plane of existence. And for that, again, I am grateful. And so it is.
God is holding me. God is holding me. God is holding me. God is holding me.
Thank you, Jackson. And now I'd like to introduce our spiritual leader, Reverend Angelica.
And thank you, Scott and Jackson. That was good. Very good. So as you saw from the slide earlier, and doesn't Scott do a great job designing all these slides? If you get the Science of Mind magazine, you'll see the artwork that's been done by the Global Visions team, but I think ours is better. So, again, our theme this month is My Passion, My Purpose. And today is about awakening to that passion and purpose. And so I want you to close your eyes for a minute. And I'm going to ask you some questions. What brought you joy as a child? When was the last time that you fully used your imagination and acted upon that? What did you want to be when you grew up? And is that still calling you? Take a breath. Open your eyes. Rick St. Charles brought to the Welcome Wellness group a word that I hadn't heard before. I did this a year or so ago, called ikigai. And I recognized that it was a Japanese word, and so I looked it up at that time. And it means the reason for being or life purpose. And it's a combination of the Japanese word iki, which means life, and gai, which is value or worth. And so when we're thinking about our passion and our purpose, we're also thinking about our ikigai. And this ikigai is about finding joy in life through purpose. It's what brings us joy, it's what inspires us to get out of bed every day. It's also about defining our personal meaning of life in relationship to what we do, our talents, our passions, our profession, as well as what we're giving to the world. So I really like that word, ikigai. Am I practicing my ikigai? Am I fulfilling my ikigai or my passion? Some people grow up feeling like they don't really have a passion or a purpose. And yet that's not true. Because, well, for one thing, maybe the word passion has become used more for the other definition than what we're talking about here. And so substituting that word joy makes the questions more palpable. It makes them more, it allows us to uncover that seed that was given to us at the instant we decided to become human. And one of the things that I want you to know is that this divine spark within it is everything you need to be what you want to be. Everything. All we have to do is allow ourselves to uncover it or reveal this passion and purpose, this ikigai. And as we do so, that seed will then start growing and developing, and our life and our passion and our purpose will become more profound. Dr. Holmes says that within each of us is a divine spark waiting to be ignited by our awareness of it. This is the great I am, without which we would not be. I think that we forget how powerful we are, how potent our words and our imagination are. And even though many of us in this room have retired, as Scott said earlier, that we're older, there's still that seed of passion or joy within us that wants to be manifested, if you haven't already. You know, when I was answering these questions for myself, what brought me joy when I was a child? Well, one was nature. In particular, animals. I loved animals. I mean, cats would follow me home. You know, not like my father did, who was into animals as well, but I can remember this one incident so clearly where he drives up the driveway. We had a really long driveway, and he drives up the driveway, and I can hear barking the whole time. Well, we didn't have a dog. And he opens the door, and this beautiful Labrador, maybe 3-month-old puppy jumps out of the car and comes running over to me, and I'm like, oh, wow, a dog, you know, all excited. And then I hear my mother, what is that dog doing here? And my dad says, oh, he followed me to the California Club. Now, the California Club is a men's-only club in downtown Los Angeles, rather elite. But even as a little kid, I'm thinking, yeah, right. This dog shows up out of nowhere in busy downtown Los Angeles and follows you into the California Club, so you just had to bring it home. It looks like a purebred, you know. He did that a few times, which was kind of interesting. Maybe that's where I got my passion for animals, but I think I had it before then. My sister recently sent me some pictures, and one is, for those of you who don't know, I was adopted by a family, so that's the family I'm talking about. My sister sent me a picture of me pushing a baby carriage, and in the baby carriage is a cat wearing a little hat and a little dress. And I'm thinking, boy, I must have had scratched up arms. You know? So, our passion. What brought you joy as a child? And I think now, when I was a child, I thought I was going to be a veterinary. I mean, that, with the love of animals, etc., that seemed like the likely thing. Well, I have to tell you that even as a child, I lived in a different dimension than everybody else did. And I knew I could talk to those animals. I also knew I could heal them if they needed it. And I did what I did, just, without thinking about it or anything. And I was put down for it. There's this this word that's going around right now, adulting. We have to be adults, right? And it's really about doing the responsible thing and taking care of business. And what it does when we're telling people that they have to be adults or shaming them for things that they might believe if they're children, etc., we're telling them that what they want is impossible. And in this life, there's nothing that's impossible. We might think there is, but I believe that if we really searched that thought or that belief, we'd find that it was given to us, whether it was by our parents or by teachers, etc. Albert Einstein said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress and giving birth to evolution." So on that question, when was the last time that you fully used your imagination and acted upon it? Imagination is more important than knowledge. When I was a kid, the knowledge that was given to me was there isn't any such thing as being able to heal animals. There isn't any such thing as being able to talk to animals or trees or plants. And yet I've done it all my life. So I read this story about Oprah Winfrey in the notes that the Global Vision people gave us. And they said that many achievements and inventions come about as daydreams that children have, or during those times when we let our minds just wander. Oprah Winfrey began play acting in front of an audience of farm animals as a 2-year-old. She learned to read before she even went to school, and she wrote a letter to the kindergarten teacher stating that she should skip kindergarten and go right to 1st grade. And guess what? Her request was honored. She recognized her potential early on, and she used her imagination to create a $1 billion business that's going strong right now, even though her show's not on TV anymore. What I know, though, that in this working through, moving through her life and creating things, she did it with her imagination, but she wasn't aware until much later in her life, actually, I believe, until she met Eckhart Tolle, that she wasn't aware of a divine process of inspiration occurring. She said she just followed what felt natural and compelling. So, that makes me think about children. And if you really watch children when they're not aware of being watched, they have a lot of joy and passion in their lives. They can make castles out of a chair and a couch and a blanket, right? They can make anything out of their imagination and have great fun with it. And they don't care what anybody else might be thinking about it. They just want to do this, and so they do it, right? And children live with an innate spontaneity and freedom that flows through most of their actions. And then they seem to get to an age, like I did, when we're told to be practical. And so those early imaginings, the idea of moving towards some sort of a purpose or a passion gets doused, right? We might have been shamed out of it. We might have been made wrong for having unrealistic goals. Another thing I loved to do when I was a child was write. And my brother had this old, very old typewriter. It was black and it was big and heavy and all that. And he got an electric one of the first electric ones. And so the old one got put in the playroom, which was actually my room. And I had so much fun writing stories about animals, about people, about, all kinds of things. And I decided at one point, I was also a really good artist when I was a kid, I decided at one point that I was going to be a writer and I was going to illustrate my own books. And I told my mother this, and she said, "You'll never make any money doing that." And made me feel that what I wanted to do, that this spark within me, that divine spark, was not appropriate. I think about, I've only been a parent for a few years. I was a foster mother for a few years. But I think about the work that parents have to do. They constantly have to watch what they're saying and what they're thinking around their children. What are you feeding that child's brain? It's a constant. I'm sure it must be something constant. And I know that if it was me, that things would pop out sometimes that weren't necessarily that child's truth. Might be my truth, but not that child's truth. But then that child would think then that they had to do what mommy wanted or daddy wanted. They want to be loved, and so the way to be loved is to obey. And that passion gets stifled. So what I know is that this passion that we come into this world with, that divine spark that I spoke of just a minute ago, that divine spark has absolutely everything within it that is needed for us to fulfill our purpose. Any idea that we download now has everything in it that we need to fulfill our purpose. You know, there's in the Welcome Wellness group on Thursday nights, which isn't happening this week, but anybody's invited to go to it, Thursday nights at 5 o'clock on Zoom. We've been talking a lot about letting go and letting God. And if we recognize, even as adults, as who we are right this moment, if we allow ourselves to open ourselves to awakening to that divine spark and remembering that that spark comes with absolutely everything that is necessary for us to fulfill it, and then we let go and we let the divine do what it does naturally, then that thing that we want to do will come into our lives much easier than if we sit there, oh, I have this idea, now let's see, I have to make a list, and I have to do this, and then I have to get this kind of money, and then I have to, attract this kind of people, and then I have to. Until pretty soon we're looking at that list going, maybe I don't want to do that after all. But if we just let go, if we put these ideas, these divine sparks into the light, we'll realize that there's everything that is necessary to the fulfillment of our good and others' good already at hand. It's already here. So if you're thinking about what your passion is, remember what brought you joy as a child. And if you feel like, okay, I'm ready to do something out in the world, then tell the universe that you want to do something with that spark out in the world. And then listen and watch. Because ideas will start coming to you. Somebody will say something to you that knows absolutely nothing about what you're thinking, and it'll be exactly what you need at the moment. You might even be walking by somebody in a store and you'll overhear a conversation, and it'll be exactly what you need at the moment. Because everything has already been provided. Everything. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, I've done my work, I'm retired, etc. I want to tell you about something I learned when I was in India. I was on a spiritual evolution tour, and I noticed that there were a lot of gentlemen, older gentlemen, going around, and who had bleached their hair. It was no longer the black of the East Indian people. It was bleached, so sort of orange. And I thought it was kind of weird. And I finally asked somebody, why do so many men bleach their hair orange, especially the older men? And I was told that when they finish with their work, raising their children, etc., that is the time that they begin to go on a spiritual journey. And the bleaching of the hair lets everybody know that they're on a spiritual journey. Well, a few years ago, in one of Deepak Chopra's newsletters, he said he was going to India and he was going to go on a spiritual journey. And I thought, geez, this guy's pretty spiritual already. But his passion was driving him to continue on his path. And guess what? He bleached his hair. I thought, wow. So there is, I sort of had this idea at the time. There's an old phrase from my hippie days, let your freak flag fly. And I thought, wow, he's letting his freak flag fly. He's telling everybody he's ready to have a greater experience of the divine. And that's his passion. Now, when I look at what my passions were, raising, being with animals, communicating with nature, writing, etc., and here I am a minister, it might not look like those actually fit. Well, when I was living in Hawaii, I had a cat that got kicked by a cow and broke its leg in a few places. And the vet was showing me all these x-rays and the pictures in the book about how they would fix it, etc. And I said, oh, how much is that going to be? Well, for one thing, I'd have to drive to Waimea to do it, which is, an hour or so away, because that was the only vet that did these kind of surgeries. And it would have all these pins and everything, and it started at $5,000. Well, at that time, for me, $5,000 was a heck of a lot of money. And I said to Dr. Pease, I'm going to have to pray about this. And he said, well, don't pray too long, it'll get infected. So I go home, and I started praying about it, and I asked the practitioners in my church, the church I started in Hawaii, I asked them to pray about it. And one of our members was a Reiki master practitioner, and she came and did Reiki on the cat. And oh man, I just cuddled that cat. That was one of my favorite cats. His name was Bart. I just loved him so much, and but I couldn't stop thinking about his poor broken leg and all these pieces. And I went to the library and I got I photocopied a thing of a cat skeleton so I could see one whole. And, I did all this work to know that he would be healed. And I had other people helping me. And then I went to a Sillamar. And I told Tag, my husband, late husband, be really careful with Bart. I'm giving him instructions on how to handle this poor cat. And yeah, I know. So I go and I ended up calling him about halfway through the week. And, one of my questions was, well, how's Bart? And he goes, he's up on the roof. What? He said, yeah, as soon as you left, he quit limping. I thought, okay, this is about attention now. And I go home, get out of the car. When Tag picks me up from the hospital, we get out of the car, I go in the house, and Bart jumps off the couch and goes, limps over to me. And it's just like, don't try to fool me. I know the truth about you now. And he trotted out the door. But that, we can not only do our parents and teachers, etc., tend to squash our passion and our dreams, we do it to ourselves. I was doing it in that particular instance by only thinking about having a broken leg. right? This cat has a broken leg. That's why I went and got the picture, so I quit seeing the image of the x-ray in my mind. And it worked when I stopped being there to give all that energy that it wasn't working. So again, each one of us has a divine spark inside of us. Each one of us has to realize that everything we need to fulfill that divine spark is already here with us. And as we focus and align ourselves back with that divine spark, we'll recognize that the roadmap to guide us is right in front of us. It always has been, it always will be. And we simply need to take the first step. Once we take the first step, the whole universe provides everything that's necessary for that fulfillment. I'm going to close with a quote by Raymond Charles Barker. I just love that man. He wrote The Power of Decision. I got to meet him many times. It was like my brother, my older brother in a way. He says, "My creativity is amazing. It renews and recreates my whole experience. I am a new person with a fresh mind living in an interesting world." That's your truth as well. Your creativity is amazing. It renews and recreates your whole experience. You are a new person with a fresh mind living in an interesting world. And so I'm going to invite all of us this month as we work on my passion, my purpose, to get back to that place, to ask yourself those questions again. What gave me joy when I was a child? And when was the last time I used my imagination? Let yourself have some imagination time. Maybe it might be like putting a blanket out on the lawn and looking up at the clouds and going, oh, there's an elephant, or, let your imagination have fun. And then see what's calling you now. What's your purpose and your passion now? And then let yourself take that first step and watch as the universe gives you the roadmap and the way to go about and do it. Your purpose and passion right now might be just to enjoy being retired. Just to enjoy life if you're not retired. I mean, work doesn't have to be bad, right? I mean, we tend to have this thing where we put a energy around the word work, right? That's why mine is a vocation. It's a calling. What I know for us is that we're way more than we think we are. So let's see our affirmation. Are you ready? Every second of my life and every atom of my being sings with the joy of my intentions. I go forward into my next adventure, sure and free in the power of spirit. And thank you, Les, for that one. So let's treat. And for those of you who are new, treat means let's pray. I recognize that there is only one power. That power of the divine. That energy that is in everything, of everything, through everything. That wonderful divine energy. And so for a moment, we let ourselves just feel that energy as it's running through our bodies. We feel the energy in the chair that we're sitting on. We feel the energy in the air that we're breathing, in this building that's surrounding us, supporting us. And we recognize that this energy surrounds us and supports us and fills us up all the time. We can never get away from it. Just like science says, everything is made out of atoms, and atoms never die. We could say that atom as another creation of this divine energy. And so we celebrate knowing that through us, this energy became a divine spark and awakened us and is continually awakening us to the true nature of our being. Our being is sacred. Our life is sacred. And I know for each one of us this week that as we walk this wonderful adventure called life, that we remember that we're spirit, fully spirit. And in spirit is absolutely everything we need to fulfill those things that we've decided bring us joy. So I know that as we contemplate this idea this month of my purpose, my passion, that we pay attention to those inner voice that is always lifting us up and moving us forward. And we know this is good, very good. And so we celebrate the divine with every fiber of our being. We celebrate it in us, and in and as everything. Whether we think it's animate or inanimate, it's all this divine energy. And it is here for us. It is us. And we're grateful for this. And so it is. Jeff is doing our special music this morning. Thank you for your gifts.
As often happens, my friend Doug's going to help me on this. Actually, Doug and I put this together about 10 years ago. Wow. It's going to get a little loud. It is an us original. And I want to make sure it's spelled correctly, because when my kid was little, she would leave out the letter N on some things. And this is called Funkin Groovin.
Speaking of passion, thank you. That was absolutely wonderful. It's called Funkin
Groovin.
Funkin Groovin.
When my daughter was little, I taught her, like, let's get down, get funky. But she would always leave out the N. And when old relatives were visiting, it would be mispronounced. That F word would be mispronounced.
They call Child Protective Services.
I don't know. She turned 35 this week, and she's still on it.
And she's still mispronouncing it. So,
I think she does it for fun, just to get dad.
just to get back at you. Yeah. I remember when my kids were very little, I had to take care of a friend's child who was about 2 or 3 for a weekend. They went away, and we went to a video store, and she didn't want to get the video that we were getting, and she fell on the floor, and she's collapsing, and I had to pick her up and take her out, of the video store, and she's screaming, "He's not my dad! He's not my dad!" True, but there's more to the story, please. Okay, children, gotta love them. All right, let's talk about sharing our gifts a little bit. What I would like to do is see if I can get 2 volunteers who will pass the plate. This is the disorganized part of the service. So we have James and Lori. You'll start on opposite ends, and we will circulate it. If we can get the slide up there, please. Let's see here. We want to first have, there we go. What we will do is, as the plate goes around, if you can contribute anything at all, please do. If you cannot, if money is short for you, we still welcome you, then put love into the plate. Either way, put love into the plate. But together, let's say, I gratefully give from the fullness of my abundance, knowing my gift blesses this center, all in it and beyond, and so it is. And here's where you can send checks if you don't have them right now. Band, it's yours. So generously given, we realize yet again there is only a divine energy that is all throughout and manifests itself in the physical plane. Part of that is as these gifts that come to us through the center. And as these gifts come in, they go back out in the law of circulation, passing good and betterness to, is an interesting word, passing good to all they touch, and all those that are beyond it is a ripple effect with no ending. And for the good that we are putting into the universe in this form, we are all grateful. We release this into the law of mind, knowing it is taking effect even now, and we say, and so it is. Thank you. And that was a betterness affirmation and treatment. All right, a couple last announcements we want to deal with. Today is Birthday Sunday. We're bringing it back by popular demand for anybody whose birthday is in August. If you would be willing to stand and get a little bit of positive praise. And Burl has brought flowers. Do we have August birthdays?
No,
Wow. So one might go so far as to say that December for our parents was a really sad month. Yeah, busy in other manners. All right, a couple of other quick announcements. If you would like support on a spiritual level and an emotional level, we do have several practitioners who are here to help you after the service or at any other time. Could our practitioners stand so people know who the practitioners are? So we have Karen, we have Les, myself, Of course, Angelica, Susan, Michelle, and some of our practitioners are not here, Edward and Claudia, too, I'm mentioning. But if you need any support, you can come up to any of us. You can also, and we will send it out to all of the practitioners, or you can put it in a little note in the box that says pray, or you can call our prayer line. We are here to serve you at whatever level that is, and it is indeed confidential. And to that end, when something positive happens because your cat has been healed, whatever it might be, we like to hear about demonstrations. So we'd like to take 1 or 2 minutes for 1 or 2 people who have had a demonstration they would like to share something that you treated for, you hoped for, you wished for, it occurred to you that you would like to share with the congregation here. Is there anybody who'd like to come forward?
Okay.
Please, Louise. Please, Louise.
It's no big deal, but,
NBD.
yeah, no big deal, but. I needed a piece of furniture, and I kind of had a dream about, gee, wouldn't it be nice if I could have a piece of furniture that was about this big and this tall and have a couple drawers? And it happened to be Angelica's birthday, and I know that there's a big thing about Go Green and stuff, and one of my favorite stores to go to is the Discovery Shop. So I parked the car. Before I get in, there it is on the sidewalk. I'm thinking, oh my God, was in my dream. I didn't think they made furniture this size and all that kind of stuff. I looked at the price and I went, oh gee, that's good. Well, I just better go do what I need to do. So I went into the place because I said, if it's meant for me to have it, it'll be there when I get out. And I didn't happen to find a gift because I actually had another idea. So I walked out and there was a lady standing there, and I looked at her and she said, oh, is this yours? I grabbed the price tag, I said, it is now. And I mean, it was just so weird because it was kind of a dream. And so, I don't know.
Thank you, wonderful.
It worked.
Not all demonstrations are life-changing. They're a lot of times fun, and the summation of Louise's demonstration is she was able to find joy in somebody else's drawers. Sorry. My wife is nodding her head in probably disappointment. He really went there, didn't he?
Scared new people away.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Yeah. Next week, for the new people, don't worry, Sanity will return to the platform. Karen will be here, and we'll probably have a little bit better breaks on what she says than I do. Any other demonstration after that? No one's going, I'm not going up there. There's not a chance I'm going up there. Yes, please, come on up, Carol. Thank you. A lovely shade of red.
Well, mine is really mundane. This morning as I'm peeling the hard-boiled eggs to make the deviled eggs, because I didn't get them done yesterday, and I didn't know if I'm going to have enough time to do them today and get here on time. So I'm like, okay, go slow, all right. I kind of panicked in the middle, and I said, James, you can do the dishes because I really don't have enough time to get. But then I came back, and I'm like, go slow, be methodical, just relax, and it worked, and we had plenty of time. But it reminded me many years ago when I first had this lesson, we were driving somewhere, and I knew there was only like 30 minutes or something to get there, but I knew in reality it would take 35 or 40. And so, instead of panicking, like I usually, oh my God, we're not gonna make it, hurry up, I just stopped and breathed, and I said, okay, I'm just going to I think James was driving, so I'm just going to think positive and be calm and don't panic. And so we drove and we got there, and I have no idea how it happened. It's like time stopped, But when I was calm, time opened up. And I still don't understand it, but I remember it. And I think that's been starting to happen to me sort of a few weeks ago, that this calm came over me, and it's like, okay, I don't have to worry about the past. I don't have to worry about the future. Time has stopped for me. Anyway, and I don't know what it means or anything, but that happened to me this morning, so the eggs reminded me again.
I don't think that was mundane. I think it was very profound. A former minister, when my wife and I first started coming here, Patrick Pollard, had a great line, because you mentioned about worry. Worry is interest on a debt not yet owed. I just love that concept. Okay, let's move forward with our community statement of inclusion and our closing song, Believe in Yourself. I don't know who is leading the song. No? Do we know who will be doing that? I don't even not know the song, however that works. Somebody will lead the song. We know that the right person will manifest themselves to lead the song. I am looking for the community statement of inclusion. There it is. Well, I know it's up there, but for who's ever going to read it, it's easier for them to read it here. Do I have somebody who would like to come forward and read the community statement of, please, Judy, thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
We, the Eureka Center for Spiritual Living, are a community that celebrates diversity, fosters inclusion, champions inner work, and creates space for brave, vulnerable conversations. We are a community that honors the unique, what's that word? Emanation of God that each person embodies, and advocates with people for human rights and dignity for all. We are a community that blesses each other, sees sacredness in all life, remain learners and listeners so we may grow together, and understand that oneness is not the same as sameness.
Together we say,
We know our community is advancing more fully when we love each other well.
thank you, Judy. Okay, this is the first time for this song. It is called Believe in Yourself. I have no idea how it goes. Do I have somebody who would like to take? Jackson does. Okay, with that in mind, turn it over to those who know, and the words are on the screen.